What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, everybody has been anticipating and waiting to see the response from undefeated 3-division world champion, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer who is widely acknowledged and recognized as one of the faces, if not the face of the sport of boxing, in superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis is 29 wins, no loss, no draw. 27 big wins by way of knockout. He is 29 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. With that said, his last opponent that marked the biggest marquee fight of his career, and that's former lightweight, junior welterweight, Mexican-American superstar title contender, King Ryan Garcia, who is now 24 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 20 big wins by way of knockout. He is 25 years of age, 5'10" with a 70-inch arm reach. King Ryan Garcia made his ring return after his April 22nd Las Vegas, Nevada T-Mobile Arena showdown with Gervonta Tank Davis himself. He made it against Oscar Duarte, hard-hitting boxer who's aggressive, who's talented, but big and strong, and has ultimately power. And we saw Gervonta Tank Davis stop Ryan Garcia, dropped him twice. He dropped Ryan Garcia twice, once in the second round, then stopped him in the 7th round. And now everybody wants to see what's next for Ryan Garcia, because there was a lot of controversy surrounding Ryan Garcia and that fight with Gervonta Tank Davis, with his promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, and Golden Boy Promotions, with the fact that he agreed and conceded to all the demands of Gervonta Tank Davis, including a catchweight of 136, when he was 2 years and 2 fights removed from fighting at 135. And then they had a rehydration clause, 10-pound rehydration clause. Then Ryan Garcia, he stated that he had a rib injury going into the fight, which was true because Gervonta Tank Davis' team stated that they were aware that Ryan Garcia had this injury to his ribs. And when Gervonta Tank Davis caught him with the left hook to the body in the 7th round, Gervonta Tank Davis, he looked at him and he said, "Uh-oh, gotcha. Gotcha." That's what Gervonta Tank Davis said. When Ryan Garcia was backing up to get ready to take a knee, Gervonta Tank Davis looked at him and said, "Ooh, I gotcha." So that held to be true. Nonetheless, he signed the contract. Now he fought Oscar Duarte. And Ryan Garcia, his trainer, he was on his second trainer when he faced off against Gervonta Tank Davis, in the form of another Hall of Famer in Joe Goosen. He was with former trainer who was 2-time trainer of the year and future Hall of Famer, Eddie Reynoso. Then Joe Goosen didn't even show up to the post-fight press conference after he lost. And immediately, as expected, he parted ways with Joe Goosen. He's now signed with 2-time trainer of the year, future Hall of Famer, well-renowned trainer, Derrick James. So there's a lot of different changes that has been made. And everybody's waiting for Gervonta Tank Davis's response and his thoughts on what he saw. Now, Tank Davis responded to, right before the fight, Ryan Garcia stating that he had a rib injury. And Gervonta Tank Davis said, this kid is just simply not committed to the sport of boxing. He's just not. Right? And so Gervonta Tank Davis said that we'll see what he is and what he becomes in the next 2 to 5 years. Now he faced Oscar Duarte, who was 26 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, 21 wins by way of knockout. He was on an 11-fight knockout winning streak since suffering a loss in 2019, the first loss of his career. 27 years of age, 5'9" with a 71-inch arm. He's big, strong, strapping Mexican fighter that stated that he didn't even respect Ryan Garcia, and the country of Mexico don't respect Ryan Garcia because he's not a hard hat, gritty, rough, rugged, typical Mexican style fighter. And in this fight, everybody wanted to see the changes made. And so that's why after the fight unfolded and he knocks out Oscar Duarte in the 8th round, wants to hear Gervonta Tank Davis's response, what Gervonta Tank Davis thinks of this performance. And Gervonta Tank Davis responded, finally responded with silence. With complete silence. Moment of silence. Moment of silence. Why? Because more than likely, like myself and like many other people, you didn't see a different version of Ryan Garcia. There weren't many changes that he displayed in the ring. You saw the same typical Ryan Garcia. Now, again, against Gervonta Tank Davis, he forces you into a position where you don't look the same. He does. He forces you into that, right? But if you look at Ryan Garcia's fight with Emmanuel Tagle, with Javier Fortuna, Luke Campbell, you look at those fights, and then you look at this fight tonight with Oscar Duarte. He looked the same. There weren't many big changes that you saw. Now, I have no doubt that Derrick James has implemented his style, but like Ryan Garcia said, it's going to take time for it to truly show, because he's going to resort right back into what? His old habits. Muscle memory. It's muscle memory. So it's going to take time. He even made a huge mistake that Derrick James is not happy with. And that's the fact that he decided to fight in the world famous Philly shell shoulder roll that we see made modern iconic by James Toney and Floyd Mayweather. Shoulder roll. He started going into a shoulder roll, and he was getting tagged. But he stated that it was working. He wasn't getting hit, but he was getting hit. Maybe not cleanly, but he was getting hit. And Derrick James said, "Get the blank out the shoulder roll. You ain't Floyd Mayweather." And he said, "Well, I did it and I tried it because I thought it was just a good thing to do at the moment." So he felt like at the moment, this was the right thing to do. And he did it for a few rounds. Then he said, well, Oscar Duarte figured it out. He started hitting me, so I went back to what I typically normally do. Well, what about the game plan set forth by Derrick James? Now, keep in mind, Ryan Garcia is on record saying that I wasn't committed to the sport of boxing. I wasn't committed to training. Here, he deviated from, obviously, the game plan that Derrick James set forth. And he even stated that Derrick James said, "Come on, man," and was pleading with him, "Use your legs." And he says, well, then I figured out I should start using my legs like he said. I started using my legs like my trainer asked me, and then I got the knockout. Well, what do you know? So again, there's no response because there's no response needed. Because you see the same version of Ryan Garcia. The difference is he wasn't in there with Gervonta Tank Davis. He wasn't antsy. He was more calm, cool, and collective, like he was against Javier Fortuna, Emmanuel Tagle. You see him against Luke Campbell, even when he got floored and dropped in that fight. He displayed that same poise. Now, one thing in particular that he did do that I was impressed with, but he did it in spurts, not consistently, is when Oscar Duarte was pressing him and pressing the fight, he was comfortably fighting off the back foot and countering and being mobile, not fighting straight up. He was slightly bent. He was countering, fighting off the back foot, but then he stopped. That was an adjustment made by Derrick James. You can clearly see that. But then he stopped. He surrendered it. And he decided in his own world, in his own mind, I should go into the Philly shell or the shoulder roll, made famous in this modern day time by James Toney and Floyd Mayweather. That angered Derrick James clearly. It's the reason why Derrick James said, you ain't Floyd Mayweather. Stop doing it. So with that said, this performance and this outcome in response from Gervonta Tank Davis was met with silence. And sometimes silence speaks volumes. I'm sure Gervonta Tank Davis is aware. Maybe he didn't fully watch the fight, but I'm sure he's aware of what took place. And he had nothing to say. As a matter of fact, neither did Devin Haney. Neither did Teofimo Lopez. Neither did Shakur Stevenson. Because he displayed the same typical version of Ryan Garcia. And until we see him in the ring with a high skilled level talented fighter, that his talent, his hand speed and power is not going to see him win the fight, that he has to actually follow a game plan and not just win off of his talent. Until then, you're not going to see many different facets to his game until he's facing adversity. It's just as simple as that. Now, there's talks that he could fight Arnold Barboza. That will be a telltale sign. Or a guy like that's slick, that's crafty, but has power and is aggressive, like Subriel Matias. He's crafty. He delivers his power. He's thudding. He's flat-footed, but he's crafty in his pressure and how he defends himself. So when you factor those things in, those are the ones that can bring out, and we can actually see if the game plan and the change to Derrick James is truly, truly working. But until then, we're not going to see the different facets to his game because it's not necessary. So with that said, we have to see how this unfolds with Ryan Garcia moving forward. And there's simply no reason for guys like Gervonta Tank Davis to respond because, again, they didn't see any difference in Ryan Garcia. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. There's talks that Ryan Garcia is possibly going to face off as the WBA, World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Mendoza decided to make Ryan Garcia the WBA interim champion. Well, with that said, they're lining up a fight with Ryan Garcia and Rolando Rolly Romero, who is the WBA junior welterweight title world champion. Okay, so he's the WBA world champion, and he has a record of 15 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 13 wins by way of knockout. 28 years of age, 5'8" with a 68-inch arm reach. He had a controversial win for that vacant WBA title over Ishmael Barroso, and nonetheless, Ryan Garcia stated that that's the fight he wants next. Rolly Romero's not skilled. He has power and he's aggressive, but again, he's just another form of Oscar Duarte, and Ryan Garcia will prevail in that fight as well. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out moving forward. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. So all I got for y'all. I'm gone. Peace.